In the comments for my 13 biggest exploits video, I saw a post that I had to read 4 times because I could not believe what I saw. So I'm touching on 3 interesting comments in this video. 1, how EverQuest's Holy Trinity, tank, healer, and DPS, was broken by a creative player. 2, a GM who made a huge mistake when doing a name change. And 3, the story you're here for, how did a player find an exploit worth $40,000. Let's go. How EverQuest's Holy Trinity of tank, healer, and DPS was broken by a creative player. I left EverQuest after a period of multiple duplication exploits, but my greatest achievement was breaking the Holy Trinity by creating a new scalable group. The idea was to have pet-only groups, with the pets all bound in a small area, and one mage would run in a loop pulling into the pet nucleus. Pets would attack and hold aggro, while casters would stand outside the nucleus and alternate between healing pets, recasting pets, and raining down death from above. The beauty: this group didn't require tanks or healers, and it scaled up and down easily, as pet classes could join and leave the group at any time. The group would adjust by increasing or decreasing the pull rate. It meant that the group never had to break up just because a critical member left the party. A GM who made a huge mistake when doing a name change. My friend had a bugged character. When he died, he kept his gear as well as it being on the ground. Nothing like dual-wielding lore weapons to get people's attention. We think this happened by accident when he got forcibly name changed. His name was something like Automobile. He did this on purpose so he could change it to having an apostrophe in it, something that worked perfectly fine but could not be typed in character creation. So a GM teleports to him, and he is talking to him face to face about it, no big deal. Asked him what he wants his name to be. And while this is happening, a random mob attacks, and the GM makes his friend invisible to all mobs somehow, and the mob runs off. But this wasn't a standard buff. Friend gets his name changed and the GM leaves, but the friend is still invisible, even when attacking mobs. He manages to die somehow while testing out this new power, and he also refused good items that were duplicated as well. Crazy stuff. Made it hard for him to beat our puller when he couldn't get aggro. And we tested it on raid bosses too. He could have soloed them, but he didn't want to get caught and lose it all. And the last story. How did a player find an exploit worth $40,000? If we're talking exploits, nothing will beat this duplication glitch in early EverQuest. It was possible to duplicate coin. Dying beyond a zone line would revert your character back to the previous server save of it, usually not far back. Back then, the game actually put a note in the chat window every time your character saved, so it would save every so often and also anytime you dropped items. But it did not do so when dropping coins on the ground. The trick was to drop an item so your character is saved, then drop coins and shoot a guard and run through a zone line at the last second. The guard one-shots you in a bad place, so instead of zoning, you simply pop back up at your last save. Now you have your coins in your inventory, and they're sitting on the ground at your feet. A couple times someone else would find my pile of plat and run off with it. Must have made their day. I sold a bunch of it on early eBay and was able to buy my dream car, a red 93 Mazda RX-7, about $40,000 in today's money. I want to say thank you to these 2 commenters. I was shocked to read these, and here's a link to the video that the comments were from. Thank you all for watching.